So Trudeau wants to legislate a right to housing, and you may be thinking this is a good thing. How could you be against a right to housing, right? What are you, a monster? You don't want people to have a roof over their head. You want them to freeze outside in the cold. You heartless libertarian, like, oh my God, all you people, you're gonna sell your kids into child slavery or some bullshit. But if you actually look into these bills, right, it's not gonna work out the way you think. Look what happened when Bush and Clinton tried giving all black people and minorities a home in America. It pretty much created the housing bubble, the housing crisis in 2008. So now Trudeau, what he's going to do is he's going to set up this human rights tribunal thing that is in association with the Human Rights Tribunal of Canada, which we all know is pretty much a kangaroo court that gives people $50,000 fines for disagreeing with transsexuals about their gender. But what's going to happen is characterizing housing as a human right is meant to provide recourse, usually through tribunals, to anyone wrongfully denied a home for reasons such as ethnicity, religion, or gender identity, and put pressure on the federal government to make the right a reality. So what do you think is going to happen with this bill? It's going to give a lot more power to minority groups, to transsexuals, etc., to sue people, to bring them in front of the Human Rights Tribunal, in front of the kangaroo court, and say, they denied me housing because of my race, because of my gender, because of I'm transsexual, when probably it wasn't for that reason. But it's really hard to prove intent, and then these people that are going to subjectively align with these people, and they're going to make these people pay up. And what is that going to do? It's just going to create more division within society, more hatred, because yes, most minority people are not going to take advantage of this and do this and start suing everybody who refuses them an apartment or a house or something, but there are going to be some that do. And what does that do? It's just going to create more bitterness, hatred towards that group, because they're going to be like, well, what the fuck? You see these Chinese or this group, bringing this up and trying to bring me to the Human Rights Tribunal over bullshit charges. So this is not going to be good for society, but this is all people like Trudeau do. He just promotes more divisive policies that he says is going to help people, but all it does is pander to a certain section of the population, and that's all really democracy ends up doing at the end of the day. You pander to your groups, to the people that you depend on to win elections, and fuck everybody else. And it's disgusting, though, really. Like this language that they use that makes you think that it's good, that, oh, right to housing. Like I said, how could you be opposed to it? But don't be deceived by the language of these bills, of the nice language of thinking that housing, first of all, is a right. Like, some people think that people should be given actual houses with doing absolutely nothing for it. Like, that's living, you're not living in reality. All throughout history, people have had to work to live, to buy things, to survive. At no point in history could you just lay down and do nothing and somehow get food in your belly. You've always had to go and do something to get the things you want. You always had to go and build your home, get resources to buy your home, right? And it's a lot harder to buy homes right now, but that's not the free market's problem. That's not the free market's fault. It's the fault of government intervention. It's a fault of mass immigration. There's many different factors that go into why housing is more expensive now and all this shit. But it's legislating a right to housing or anything like that is not going to solve the problem. It's just going to make it worse. You know, look, the 2008 crisis was caused by something similar to that. Now, this isn't exactly like that. They're not forcing banks to give people loans and stuff, but like I said, people are going to be dragged in front of the Human Rights Tribunal and have to pay these people money because they decided not to allow them to rent or rent an apartment. Like, that's just fucking crazy. But you know, that's Trudeau for you. You know, he doesn't know any better, and he's just going to keep promoting things like this to pander to his base before the upcoming election, because you know, he's worried about the SNC scandal and other things that he's done. So he's trying his very best to bribe people before the election, right? Like the climate change thing, I got like money in my taxes back for the carbon tax thing bill that we haven't even paid into yet, and I already got money back from it because I'm one of the provinces that rejected to implement it. So it's his way of trying to sway people in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta to support him and be like, oh, look at all this money that I'm getting and stuff, right? But really, you're losing a lot more than the money you're getting back, because if they're just giving you 170 because you're like or 200 because you're single, they don't know how much energy you use in a year. You could use a lot more than that and you're getting a small return. Maybe if you're like, you don't go out at all, you use barely any energy whatsoever, then yeah, you're getting some money back, right? Maybe. But most people, no, it's not doing anything for you. It's just a bribe. Just like this is a bribe to other people, to other communities, to say, hey, we're going to give you more power to deal with the systemic issues that are dealing with housing. This is how they frame it in the article. I'll share in the link below. They're like, oh, the systemic issues in housing, which is just a leftist way of saying, oh, all the racist white people that won't sell to trannies, black people, and women, right? This is their code way of saying that. So, oh, we need to deal with that issue, to deal with this. It's really these white people that aren't giving homes to people. That's why housing is so hard to get, blah blah blah. You know, let's not deal with the housing issue in Vancouver or anything like that, because of the Asians and stuff and the triads and the money laundering that is going on there. No, let's not worry about that. Let's do this. Let's pander to the minorities in Canada. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe. And also, I'll be doing a stream tomorrow on Fredrick, Godzilla, Menckin's channel. I'll put a link in the description below. So if you want to check it out, and join me there tomorrow. So take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Peace.